She feels more comfortable around vampires. It really leaves us questioning some of the morals of the characters. Big cliffhanger for sure. So, welcome to today's video. My name is Gabrielle. I enjoy making a lot of book-related videos as well as some random topics. But today I'm really excited to share a new book that I found that is the first of what I believe will be a 6-book series, and I really enjoyed it, so I thought I would tell you all about it. I first discovered this book, I think Goodreads recommended it to me on the app, one of those because you read this, try reading this, and it is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I hadn't read anything else by her before, I still haven't yet, but I did read this book and I was totally blown away. Like the title mentions, if you love Twilight movies or the books, as well as Hunger Games movies or books, I think you'll really enjoy this. I wasn't searching for anything to meet those voids in my life, but Serpent and the Wings of Night definitely gave me all of the nostalgia that I didn't know I was missing. This video will be as spoiler-free as I can make it. For a brief plot summary, this book follows our main character, Aurea, who is a human. Now, in her world, there are humans and vampires, and the vampires have various goddesses. There are also different vampire houses and a different type of vampire that you can be and belong to. Now, the humans kind of live, amongst the vampires. It is usually sectioned off, so like the human area and then the vampire area. But because the vampires are more powerful than humans, they often prey on them and are, dispersed around the human area to try to suck their blood. When Aurea was a child, I think, about 4 years old or something, the lead vampire, Victor, went to her house, saw that her house had been destroyed and overrun in this big vampiric war that was going on. And so he saw her and for some reason felt compassion towards her and adopted her as his own daughter. So now, for the rest of her life growing up, she's been raised by one of the strongest vampires, if not the strongest vampire, as well as always being surrounded by vampires. So she's kind of lived her life as prey. She's trained with Victor to fight and be strong, so that way, if anyone does attack her or try to suck her blood, that she'll be able to defend herself. But she always knows that her life is at risk. I want to say she's 19 when the book takes place, and so even though she is an adult and could go and live off in the human world and be a bit more separated by the vampires and have them less prominent in her life, she's been raised around them her entire life. So even though she doesn't feel comfortable where she is, she feels more comfortable around vampires than she does around humans. She has taken up at nights sneaking out of the castle where, King Victor lives, and she goes into the human world and kills any vampires that are attacking and killing humans. So she is known amongst the vampires that go in the human realm that, she will come and attack them at night. They don't know exactly who she is, but they know there's someone killing vampires. So the more years that she does it, there seems to have been less, and she kind of uses it to keep up with her training and fighting skills. The book really kicks off when we learn about the Kajari. The Kajari is a competition that happens every 100 years where vampires can choose to compete. It's a, to the death competition. There can only be one winner, and whoever wins, and for whoever wins, their prize is one wish from the goddess Nyaxia. Is it Nyaxia? Nyaxia? Yes. Victor has been training Aurea to compete in the Kajari for her whole life. Aurea is prepared for this, this is all her life has been leading up to, and her goal is to win, and for her wish from Nyaxia, she wants to be turned into a vampire. That way she won't have to live the rest of her life as prey. And by doing so, I'm forgetting what it's called, but she'll be able to like form a power bond with Victor so that they like share powers and can become stronger. This is also really important for her dad, Victor, because in vampire society, they are very vicious. So you're kind of like never safe. Children kill their parents, parents kill their children, all to maintain power. So even though she's a human, by doing this, it will ensure kind of to her and Victor that like they won't kill each other because they're sharing powers. So because they love each other, even though Victor will never like verbally say that to her, because they love each other, they want to do this. So the majority of the book is really Aurea competing in this competition. It takes place over 3 months, and throughout it there are various trials she competes. For certain trials, the vampires have to pair up or team up, so she partners with 2 other vampires. One who eventually gets injured, so it's just her and one of the other main characters, Rain, and they have to partner together. While the trials are being completed, Aurea is able to like secretly meet up with Victor at certain points, and she gathers that there is a large conflict going on with the vampire society overall. A certain sect of vampires was fighting against Victor's sect in that big battle that happened many years ago, and so this sort of battle has always been persistent amongst the vampires. Like, they hate each other. So she notices like there's something else going on outside of just this stressful competition. And that's really how the book goes. It is really interesting, the type of trials that she completes. I found them really unique. I feel like some books that have competitions can be very typical with them, and I found these really interesting and unique. And throughout, there is romance in the book, and I found, yeah, it was done in kind of a unique way. I really enjoyed it. When I say Hunger Games and Twilight, I don't really mean that Carissa Broadbent was like using the exact trials that they did in the Hunger Games, or like using the same kind of characters that Edward and Bella were, but I mean the overall vibe that the stories have were infused in this, like the powerful vampire and, you know, like the strong warrior girl completing these deadly competitions. Like, that's what I mean by it, and yeah, it was really great. The book comes to a really big climax where there's a lot of conflict amongst the vampires. Aurea has a rude awakening, and it leaves on a very like big cliffhanger for sure. And then I say that there's gonna be 5 more books because I think that's what it said on like the acknowledgements page or something. So I'm really excited to see how the rest of the books go. I would highly recommend. I ended up rating it a 4 out of 5 star, and I would say I sometimes tend to be a bit more of a critical reader. So a 4 for me means like I really liked it. So take with that what you will. Check it out. Let me know if you read it. Let me know if you've already read it and what your thoughts were, and what you think is gonna happen in the next book. It really leaves us questioning some of the morals of the characters by the end of the book, but like in the best way. Like, I love villains that actually like do bad stuff, but are actually kind of good. Like, I love it. Okay, so yeah. Thanks for tuning into today's video. Please feel free to like the video or subscribe if you're so inclined, and I'll see you in another video soon.